Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable, my supervisor and co-supervisor, Sir Mulyadi MM Hilda. The Honorable, my examiner, Ma'am Ira and Sir Shapreza. Let me introduce myself. My name is Chrisna Purbaya, but you can call me Chris, and I'm from English Department Student Association 2016. And today I'm going to present to you my research that entitled Exploring Speaking Anxiety Faced by C Teacher Internship Students in Teaching Practicum. In this research, I divided it into three chapters. They are Introduction, Literature Review, and Research Methodology. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to the first chapter, that is introduction. For the background of this research, anxiety is one of situations students face in the class that happen when they are getting nervous, worry, or expect something bad that might be happen, and it is normal reaction to stressful situation. Students usually feel anxious when they ask to present in front of class, such as telling a story, speech, or even introducing themselves. Students as a foreign language, especially in using English language in the class, the anxious feeling occurrence can be seen from several symptoms, such as thinking they cannot speak well in the target language, getting butterflies in their stomach, their heart beating quickly, speaking too fast, and sweating a lot, and also becoming wooden face. The anxiety also happened by internship students, especially English students, based on informal interview and also the researcher experience. Lack of preparation and lack of experience are some factors that make internship students get anxiety during teaching practicum. For example, students are anxious and feeling fear of having misunderstanding teachers' instruction and supervision in then their bad teaching performance. In order to get experience in teaching practicum, there are some international internship program has provided by university. In Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, there is an international internship program, namely Sea Teacher Project. It is managed by Southeast Asian Minister of Education and Organization. So the students can take this program to fill one of competencies of education, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education, that is internship. Based on informal interview and also the researcher experience in the teaching practicum, there are some anxiety have found in their participant, especially for the C teacher project. There are some researchers have conducted internship students anxiety, such as Agustiana in 2014 have found anxiety in teaching practicum. And Muslim, Fatah, and Inayatullah in 2019 have found specific anxiety, that is speaking anxiety during teaching class. And the previous research have not found the anxiety faced by international students from Indonesia in teaching practicum. Furthermore, this research is about exploring speaking anxiety faced by C teacher internship student in teaching practicum. And to get more data, the using of this research will use qualitative design and to explore more speaking anxiety faced by C teacher internship students in teaching practicum. For the problem statement of this research, there is still less research about anxiety faced by internship students. Previous study have not found anxiety faced by students from Indonesia and finished their teaching practicum in international class. This research will explore students speaking anxiety who have finished C teacher project as internship program for at least a month. For the research question, this research will be how can speaking anxiety influence C teacher internship students in teaching practicum, and the objective or aims of this study to explore speaking anxiety influenced by C teacher internship student in teaching practicum. The limitation of the study, ladies and gentlemen, will focus on internship students with experience and explore speaking anxiety during teaching practicum. And the participants of this research will take internship English student from C Teacher Project in the Philippines. The significances of the research for the teacher or supervisor, this research hopefully will give feedback for teacher to guide and giving more instruction, also understanding students teacher problem and giving evaluation and as much as possible so students will not make the same problems. And for the English internship students, this research hopefully will be expected to improve their skill, especially in speaking. And they can prepare more so they will not find the problem that can lose students teacher control when they are teaching the real students. The definition of the key terms, I divided into four key terms. They are anxiety. Anxiety is when a student experiences excessive and uncontrollable worry about future and past events. Students with anxiety often misunderstood or exaggerated the importances of situation. Second is speaking anxiety. Speaking anxiety is a condition when students feel worried to speak and nervous in their teaching or there's something. And they are feared to make mistakes and misunderstand with students so they lose their control in the classroom as well. The third is international internship. International internship is a program from university so that students can teach abroad and feeling a new situation, culture, challenge, and experience also can help students to be a professional teacher there. The international practicum named Sea Teacher Project or Pre-Service Teacher Exchange in Southeast Asia. This program is managed by Southeast Asian Minister of Education Organization or called SEAMEO. SEAMEO is a regional intergovernmental organization that has established in 1965 and among government in Southeast Asia countries promotes regional cooperation in education, science, and culture in the region. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moved to the chapter 2 that is literature review. I divided into some topics in this literature review. There are anxiety. According to Professor Smith, anxiety as a state of tension and apprehension as a natural response to a perceived threat. It means it means people will tend to feel anxiety when they are under a threatening circumstances. Um, Anxiety also means the being threatened, apprehension, tension, and worry as a response of certain circumstances or situation that may happen later in the future. There are two kinds of anxiety, ladies and gentlemen, that clarify as a follow threat anxiety and also state anxiety. Threat anxiety is kind of anxiety where a subject is generally anxious in many things, while the state anxiety is appear when a person accepted a condition as dangerous, harmful, and threatening him or her. And then the second topic is foreign language anxiety. Foreign language anxiety is a distinct complex of self-perception, beliefs, feelings, and behavior related to classroom learning arising from the unique language of the learning process. According to Horwitz and Co., there are three kind of foreign language anxiety in the class. There are communication apprehension, test anxiety, and fear of negative evaluation. Communication apprehension, also known as communication anxiety or performance anxiety. And the test anxiety refers to the type of performance anxiety stemming from a fear of failure, while the fear of negative evaluation, according to Horwitz and Co. In 1986, defined fear of negative evaluation as apprehension about others' evaluation, avoidance of evaluative situation, and the expectation that others will evaluate one negatively. Ladies and gentlemen, the third topic of the literature review is international teaching internship. According to Blair, 2002, as stated as Shirley and Misko in 2015, stated that teacher training faculty need to involve their students in international and global experiences so that the future teacher will become more sensitive and understand diverse students the future will be found in many classrooms and also to get more experience in teaching practicum for the students, teachers. Internship students of or pre-service teacher. Internship students are students in the teacher training faculty who are trained to be professional teacher in schools. To sum up, pre-service teacher are students teachers who are enrolled in the teacher education program and have to take teaching internship program. They will do field-based teaching experiences supported by mentorship. It is compulsory for them to take teaching in practicum as a required course for them and to graduate from their university. Ladies and gentlemen, the next is Sea Teacher Project. The international practicum named Sea Teacher Project, or the Precept Students Teacher Exchange in Southeast Asia. The program is managed by Southeast Asia Ministers of Education Organization, or called as SEAMEO. SEAMEO is a regional intergovernmental organization that has established in 1965 among governments in Southeast Asia countries to promote regional cooperation in education, science, and culture in the region. There are four objectives as a project: to enable pre-service students, teachers develop their teaching skill and pedagogy, to encourage their pre-service students, teachers to practice their English skills, to allow the pre-service student teachers to gain the broader regional and world view, and also to expose future teachers to diverse teaching and learning situation and opportunity and the value of flexibility. Ladies and gentlemen, the previous study of this research is there are two previous study. Fina Agustiana had found pre-service teachers' anxiety during teaching practicum. She found that there are some factors pre-service teachers' anxiety, such as lack of vocabulary, lack of experience, and then lack of preparation. Meanwhile, Asnawi Muslim, Ika Apriani Fata, and Inayatullah in 2019, with the title of the research is Factors Affecting Internship Students Speaking Anxiety, have found speaking anxiety factors such as a fear of misunderstanding with supervisors, teachers, and some bad performances such as inappropriate vocabulary and error pronunciation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moved to the last chapter, that is research methodology. For the research methodology, research design this research aims to explore speaking anxiety faced by C teacher internship students, and qualitative is suitable to implement for the research. According to Creswell, qualitative research is an approach for exploring and understanding the meaning individuals or groups to a social or human problems. And the participant of this research will use purposive sampling. That means the researcher will choose 3 of C teacher students from English major and to get more information about their speaking anxiety in their performance during teaching practicum. Purposive sampling is selecting participants based on specific purpose of the research. According to Musficon, the participants have finished their internship program for at least a month, and during that time, C teachers English students have finished internship in the Philippines at level junior high school. Settings of the research. The research will take place according to agreement between participants and researcher. The place is also must be cozy, quiet, and comfortable for the researcher and participants. In getting data from participants, the researcher will record the whole interview for transcribing the data. Ladies and gentlemen, instruments of the research. The researcher is the man of this research. It means the researcher will handle all the instruments, and interview with focused group discussion will be used of this research. The interview is a purposeful interaction to explore or probe the participants' responses to gather in-depth data about their experiences and feeling, according to Gamis and Ayrasan, 2012. The interview is one of instruments that the researcher will get more data deeply about speaking anxiety faced by C teacher students, and the question For the interview, in this research will adapt French language classroom anxiety scale that is divided into communication apprehension, test anxiety, and fear of negative evaluation. During interview, the researcher also will use recorder and taking note to be transcript of this research. The next is technique of collecting data. In this research, the data will be collected by doing interview. First, the researcher will deal with participants to do interview and focus group discussion. During interview, also the researcher will make notes or take notes and record all of interview that will be transcript of the research, and this interview will require more than once so the researcher can get more data from participants. This research will focus on their experience of the participants in their teaching practicum. Focus group discussion aims to get the data deeply, and the researcher also become as participants in this research. Ladies and gentlemen, to trustworthy of this research, member checking will be used to ensure the accuracy of finding result interpretation or trustworthiness of this research. It is very important in qualitative research. Member checking is a process where the researcher tries to get validation of finding research interpretation by asking the participant about truth and accurateness of it. According to Marianne in 2009, member checking is the process involved to check your preliminary analysis back to some of the participants and ask whether your interpretation is true. And the research procedures of this research will be followed as the researcher will consult all the activities related to this research with the supervisor and also co-supervisor, contacting C teachers, students, alumni to be volunteers as the participants of the research, discussing the time and places for the interview with the participants, and then after discuss the place and time with the participants, the researcher will do interview by doing focus group discussion. During interview and discussion, the researcher will take notes and record a whole the interview in order to get a transcript, and then transcribing the interview, and then analyzing the data by using the technique analyzing data from an expert and concluding the research. And the techniques of analyzing of the data in this research, the researcher will analyze the data inductively by using technique analyzing data from Gay, Mills, and Airasan 2012. The following, the analyzing data techniques are reading and memoing. The data will be read and memorized about all field notes and transcript to get an initial sense of the data. And the second is classifying. The data will be broken down into smaller units or categorizing and put together in more general. And the last is describing. The data will be described in this descriptive form to get an understanding of the context. That's all from my presentation of this research. Thank you so much, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.